From the Lakers expected to cause an upset in the earlier rounds, to some shocking NBA Finals predictions from the undisputed reporters, here are the 2023 NBA playoff predictions and who is being backed to win it all. Starting with a possible upset win for the Lakers in the first round. Yeah, it's definitely a surprise to see the Lakers being backed as the upset winners in a first-round series, but that's the kind of season we've had so far, so it's not entirely a surprise. The Lakers may have won the NBA more times than any other team in the West, at least. However, they had a rough start to the season. A strong finish got them through the play-in tournament as the 7th seed, and they booked a first-round date with the Memphis Grizzlies, the extremely impressive 2nd seed. As far as the major NBA reporters are concerned, everyone's backing the Lakers to come through the series and defeat the Grizzlies. It may seem like an upset of sorts, especially in terms of seeds, but when you're counting on a championship-winning duo of Anthony Davis and the greatest player of all time, for many, is LeBron James, then is it really an upset? I mean, the man has more NBA Finals appearances than 27 other franchises, so it's not really a joke, is it? He seems to come into his own in the postseason, but that's not the case for every other player or team. Yep, just look at what happened to the Minnesota Timberwolves right at the end of the regular season. Honestly, I don't have words to describe the implosion within the T-Wolves squad. Within one night, it seemed like everything went south. After getting blown away in the first quarter by the New Orleans Pelicans in their must-win regular season game, the tensions ran high in Target Center. So high that we ended up seeing a disastrous bust-up among the teammates. It all started with Kyle Anderson getting under the skin of Frenchman Rudy Gobert, who decided that he'd had enough and socked his teammate on live television during a timeout. Gobert was unsurprisingly sent home with the Timberwolves facing a potential loss, which would have led them to a 9th-place finish. If that wasn't enough, Jaden McDaniels also decided to take his frustration out on a wall, only to punch it and break his hand, getting ruled out of the game too. Not the brightest bunch over there in Minnesota, huh? Yet Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards rose up to the challenge and inspired a late comeback win for the home side. But their reward was a match against the Lakers in the play-in tournament, which, by the way, was super fun and saw 4 teams get snubbed. First of all, thanks to NBA's Commissioner Adam Silver for the play-in tournament, because it has been a revelation. The Timberwolves-Lakers game was definitely a great one, and we were treated to overtime in Los Angeles. The LeBron-led Lakers prevailed 108-102, but the Timberwolves got another chance to book their place in the playoffs. On the other hand, the New Orleans Pelicans were facing off against the OKC Thunder at home, but a sensational third-quarter performance from the young Thunder side, led by the ever-impressive Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey, saw them knock the Pels out in New Orleans. Just like that, we had our first exit of the postseason. The Thunder would go on to face the Timberwolves, but would fall at the final hurdle with Minnesota proving to be too strong with the return of Rudy Gobert. On the other hand, in the East, things were even more fun. The Atlanta Hawks provided the first upset of the postseason, defeating the Miami Heat and grabbing the 7th seed on the road in Miami, while an inspired performance from DeMar DeRozan's daughter on the sidelines helped the Bulls knock out the Toronto Raptors. I'm not joking. In fact, DeMar's decision to not take his daughter DR to Miami proved to be fatal for their playoff hopes, and the Heat ran out rather comfortable winners, taking out the Bulls to become the 8th seed. Chances are, the Heat could be involved in another upset in the East, especially with Giannis' injury. The NBA scriptwriters are really cooking up something special for us this season. Unfortunately, it's not good news for the betting websites or Milwaukee in general, as Giannis Antetokounmpo suffered an injury during Game 1 of their first-round series against the Heat, leading to a win on the road for Miami. And with Greek Freak predicted to be out for at least Game 2 as well, the Jimmy Butler-led Heat will definitely fancy their chances of causing the biggest upset of the 2023 season. I wouldn't rule it out. That said, you'd back someone like Giannis to come roaring back even if the team is 2-0 down, right? The Bucks are the projected winners of the Eastern Conference for the majority of analysts. Yep, Shannon Sharpe believes the Milwaukee side under Giannis will go all the way for a second championship in 3 years. Most of the betting companies also have the #1 seed in the East to win the championship. However, I see the odds changing dramatically ever since Giannis' injury. It seems that if the Bucks are to go all the way, they'll need to come through against the Heat, possibly without their best player. It's a tough task, especially with playoff Butler looking like he's in the mood to make some noise. and he's always so clutch. It seems that the East is ready to match the West for excitement, especially after a relatively eventless regular season. That's because the Sixers-Celtics projected matchup in the second round is splitting a lot of opinions. Both the Celtics and the 76ers are the heavy favorites out of their first-round series, and both sides have cruised to 2-0 series leads so far. But Skip Bayless is actually backing the Philadelphia side to knock the finalists of last season out in the second round. He expects his MVP pick, Joel Embiid, to take the 76ers through to the conference finals, and that's a big shout. Unsurprisingly, most other analysts disagree. Shannon Sharpe thinks the Celtics will come through, while Colin Cowherd also backed the Celtics to defeat the Philly team with ease, especially now that they're at full swing. Back to the West though. The Inside the NBA reporters have some big thoughts on who makes it out of the first round. Charles Barkley has taken the unpopular route of backing the Sacramento Kings to defeat the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors, in the first round. It might be the boldest prediction so far, and it's also one that's nearly come true. With the Kings lighting the lamp in Sacramento after 2 back-to-back wins to lead the series 2-0. But that's not all. Chuck's decided to go against his former team, the Phoenix Suns, and believes the Los Angeles Clippers will send them packing in the first round. Again, he's not far off, as the series is currently tied at 1-1 with the first 2 games taking place in Phoenix. Shaq, on the other hand, went with the favorites, backing both the Warriors and Suns to come through. He believes his former side, the Lakers, will get through against the Grizzlies in their first round series. Tasty. But the question that you're all here for, and the only one that matters in the end, who gets to the NBA Finals and who wins? So let's start with Stephen A. Smith. He's backing the Boston Celtics to come through from the East, and he believes Kevin Durant and Devin Booker will prove to be too much for the rest of the West. In fact, Smith thinks they'll be too much for the Celtics in the finals as well, and the Valleys of the Sun will have their first ring. While the reporters on Inside the NBA haven't submitted their finals predictions yet, it's not too hard to see who they're backing. As we all know, Chuck thinks the Warriors will exit early, and he was convinced that the Kings could take out the Lakers too. That puts the Sacramento side in the finals. A very bold call to say the least. And with his prediction about the Suns getting knocked in the first round, could mean that he's backing one of the Clippers or the Kings to make the finals. Shaq would probably back KD's Suns to come through. Their calls for the finals should come in over the next few days as the playoffs take place. Not waiting with their finals predictions, the undisputed cast got their picks in, and they've cooked up a couple of exciting scenarios. That's right, Skip Bayless firmly believes that the Suns will sweep every team on their way to the NBA Finals in the West. Known for his brave opinions, Skip thinks Embiid takes the 76ers to the finals from the East. In the finals though, the Suns prevail as per Bayless. His counterpart on the show, Shannon Sharpe, couldn't have a more different pick. Sharpe, a big-time LeBron fan, believes the Lakers will make it out of the West. No surprises there. While he's picking the Bucks to advance to the finals from the East, however, very much like Skip, he thinks one of the 2 big favorites will win the finals in the end. So, from Skip and Sharpe's courageous finalist picks to a possible Lakers upset on the cards in the first round, here are the 2023 NBA playoff predictions.